Hello everyone, welcome to the vlog of Rhonda's Readings. This is a part of the Rhonda's Recipes playlist. As you know, we're in self-isolation mode, so it's a good way of spending your time and trying to keep up the nutrients and stay healthy and all the rest of it. Recipe today is a recipe for cultural understanding. Now, some of you are probably getting pretty frustrated by the state of the grocery shops. They are getting better, but I know what it's like when you can't buy fresh vegetables and the meats and the usual products you normally get. So an alternative to that is to shop in Asian groceries. They're usually pretty well stocked. A little pot sticker pastries, so they're little packets like this. I think it's 300 grams worth, so it's 42 pieces of these. And what I actually make with these are little pot stickers. And okay, so just taking one out of the packet, this is what it's like. So it's a really thin layer, and you can basically mold it to any shape you like. You can make like little samosa things, or you can make little pot sticker things. I tend to whatever I make the first one as, I make the rest of them as beef mince. You can get an alternative like pork or chicken mince. Today we're doing chicken mince. We have a salad onion. We also have a red cabbage, and we also have carrots. So I've got today oyster sauce. I've also got fish sauce and got sesame oil. I usually put leftover herbs and that in it as well. So if you've got lots of herbs, you can do that. So they're the ingredients today. And then, all right, but let's get started. Okay, possums. These are my Dame Edna glasses that I use whenever I cut up an onion, because I cry. I literally cry with like the first or second chop, so I use these. They probably look ridiculous, but they honestly make my cooking experience a lot more enjoyable. I can see what I'm doing rather than crying and having to stop. Onions. So we have grated carrot, shredded cabbage, and onion. Okay, so I've got my chopped up vegetables. I've got red onion, red cabbage, and carrot. I'm now going to add some fish sauce to that, or a lot of fish sauce. Also some sesame oil, which I always struggle opening, but I open first go. And I'm also going to add some oyster sauce to that. So it's actually a bit of a thick oyster sauce, but that's okay. And then I mix it in as well. Alright, so that's probably looking good for my mixture. It's all sort of mixed in. I'd probably just add some pepper as well. If my husband wants to squeeze that through, just because it is going to be salty with the sauce. So my husband's just adding some pepper. And I'm pretty confident that that's going to be well seasoned. Alright, so that's it for the solution. We'll then start actually making the pot stickers. Okay, so now I'm going to start making the pot stickers. So what we've got is the packet that I showed you earlier. I normally just cut it to make sure I don't, because they're quite little brittle things, so I normally just cut it to make sure that I don't damage them in any way, because I've actually done that before. I've just ripped the whole thing and then I've sort of ripped half of them. So it's a little bit fiddly. This is the most fiddly part, but once you open it, it's fine. So that's my little ones there. So I've got the mixture that I've made here with the vegetables and the chicken mince. I've also got a little tub of water, which I'll explain as I'm going, and I've got my little pastry sheets to make. So what I actually do is I normally just use my fingers just to wet the outside of it. And I just also use a spoon and I just add a tiny little bit. I try to keep them consistent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So basically I put a little bit like that and then I'll just roll them together. So I try to get the two opposite ends together, and then I just roll it like a little pot sticker like that. So that's my first one. And this plate's actually a little bit chilled, so it's going to just be easy and let them hold the shape. So that's what I'm doing. I try to use the same, although I've got meat and vegetables together, I do try to use sort of a technique where I'm not mixing vegetables and meat. So I do try to keep the meat and vegetable mix so that it doesn't touch my hands. Okay, so now that we've assembled the pot stickers, we made what, 38 of them, we're going to cook them. So there's a few different techniques. We use our pot sticker cooking technique, which is kind of like steaming them and then a little bit of frying them. So it's really making sure that the meat inside is cooked and they're sort of crunchy and appetizing. So that's basically what they do, but we'll show you that now. Okay, so we're going to show you our steaming technique. We'll just have a saucepan and we boil the kettle and then we just fill that up with boiling water. Okay, so we then just use a steamer, so just the type of steamer we'd use for broccoli, cauliflower, that sort of thing. So as you can see, the water vapour is going to go up from the steamer, and we've also got a little, I don't know what it's called, but it's sort of like a steaming paper. So it just means that it's not going to stick to the steamer, it's going to, so it always does that. So it's actually going to stick to the paper instead. So then we just start putting them in, really. So that's our little, so we just start putting them in to steam them. Okay, so next to the steamer we have this one. This is our other technique, so we're just going to pour boiling water in this one. Not much, it's really just sort of to cover it. So this one is easier for things to go wrong, because if you don't put enough water, everything will just burn. But we just have the water there, and then we just add the pot stickers into this one. So there's two different techniques that we use. Okay, so just looking at the steaming, this one started to dry out, so we added more water to it, so that's still going well. And the other one as well is still steaming. Okay, so we're going to take the lid off this one and just let the water boil off. Give it a bit of a shake and a poke and help socially isolate them from the other pot stickers. So you don't have smell on YouTube, but they're smelling pretty good. So we're basically just making sure that there's water underneath each one, so they're still cooking. So as you can see, the water does dry out. This is when the magic starts to happen, when the water starts evaporating. So they're smelling pretty good. And they're literally sticking now like pot stickers. So we're just going to spray a little bit of oil. So the water's boiled off, and we're just making sure that, again, they're not socially isolating, but there you go, you get the picture, and they're starting to cook, starting to crisp up a bit. Okay, so this is a serving selection. We've got some sweet chili sauce, and we also have some sweet soy sauce. So we normally just put them both on a plate and then dip them in both and then eat them both from the plate, and enjoy with wine or any other beverage you so desire. Okay, so now for the tasting. So I've just got one on a fork with a little bit of sweet chili and sweet soy sauce. I'm just going to taste it. Very good. Yeah. And it's really nice with the chicken mince. I don't think we've made with chicken mince before. I think we've used pork and just regular beef mince, but it's just a different taste and it's quite nice. Today we've got a spring onion. Okay, so I've got the chopped up veggies. I've got the red onion, red capsicum. No, I haven't.
Just had it. Really just.
No.